what was... Well, we're still here at the Southwest Regional NMRA convention, and we're going to one of the layout tours, I guess if you can call it that. It's the Maricopa Live Steamers.
Wow.
And they call their railroad Adobe Mountain.
Wow.
And it is 17 miles of 7.5-inch gauge live steam railroad.
Oh boy.
So that's got to be one of the bigger live steam railroads that's out there. So check this out, the Maricopa Live Steamers at Adobe Mountain.
Right.
The Maricopa Live Steamers have this really cool and really massive setup here, right near Scottsdale, Arizona, where the NMRA convention was being held. Here in the clubhouse, they have this really cool O-scale stuff. They have some 15-inch gauge steam engines. They even have a full-size 2-foot gauge steam engine outside. Oh, and I fell in love with this trolley. And they have this really amazing G-scale layout. They rescued it out of a mall or a hobby shop or something. I forget the exact story. But it was all built, and they acquired it and had to sort of take it apart and bring it here, and here it is in the clubhouse. Now, of course, what this place is really all about is 7.5-inch gauge live steam and diesel railroading on 17 miles of track, sort of wandering around out here in the incredibly hot desert. There's a central facility here where they load passengers. The clubhouse is some distance from here, and the trains meander out to this location, which is the clubhouse. The railroad consists of several really large loops of track that feed out from these central locations, and you can ride out into the desert for miles and go around a big loop and then come back to the main location, quite often coming back on the track that you went out on, going in the opposite direction. The railroad was open to the NMRA people as a kind of layout tour, if you will, but a ton of people from the convention decided to come out here and ride the little 7.5-inch gauge trains around the desert, this in spite of the oppressive heat. Now, the locals told me this is not oppressive heat. It's barely 100 degrees out here. You should try coming out on a hot day. Some of the track is all set up with signaling. That's kind of cool. There's also a lot of really interesting structures, bridges, buildings. The individual members bring their own sense of creativity to that. Some of the stuff is really rather whimsical. Some of it's rather serious, like serious modeling. It just sort of depends on who's building what and what their sense of aesthetics really are. Now, a lot of this infrastructure is just the necessary stuff that you need to run a great big club layout like this. A transfer table to get locomotives on and off trucks as they arrive, storage facilities for people who want to keep their trains out here, fueling areas, you know, that kind of thing. I believe the old railroaders would refer to this as hitting the cinders. We are on the ground. Well, this sort of thing happens especially on a hot day when some of the rails have been sort of sun-kinked. They got everything back onto the track, and away we went again. Well, there are certainly a lot of very large 7.5-inch gauge clubs, but at 17 miles, Adobe Mountain is certainly one of the largest. It's also a really fun place to come hang out, so look for them if you're in the area. Check their website and see if they're going to be having a meet or just when they're open to the public. Well, that was a lot of fun.
Oh, I'll see it was.
And
sunburned, but
it's kind of funny that they could probably run that thing for months and months and months, but as soon as we are there filming, immediately the locomotive goes on the ground and they have a big derailment.
Oh, of course.
But it gives us the opportunity to embarrass them on the show here, which is sort of fun, I guess. But that was a little alarming to suddenly feel the whole thing go onto the ground.
Stopped.
But these things happen. Trains derail. It's the nature of them. But anyway, what an amazing railroad. We couldn't go over part of it because it was sun-kinked. It's so darn hot out.
It's hotter than blazes.
And so there was a whole bunch of mileage that we didn't go over because it was kinked from the sun expanding the rails. So they'll have to wait till it cools off and straightens itself back out a bit. But we still went all over the place out there.
It was fun, something you want in your yard for the grandkids.
Yeah, what a fun thing. It's easy to see why people get hooked on 7.5-inch gauge live steam. Well, if you haven't been to the channel, you can get to the channel by clicking on the Toyman logo if you're not in full screen. Or you can wait for the little blue button to pop in, which it will be doing any moment here, right down in here that says subscribe. And if you click on that, it will subscribe you to the channel, which is something you really want to do, because then you'll be notified every time we put up a movie, which is every Sunday morning, so that's easy. But it also gives you a nice roadmap back to the channel and reminds you that this cool stuff is there and you should come look at it.
Right.
So, subscribe button right down here. Well, we're not sure how you found this fun, frivolous little movie on the internet. We hope you didn't find it boring. And we will be here again in 1 week with some more massive screwing around. We'll see you then. Bye.